Hello, good afternoon, friends and neighbors. This is Faisal Hassan, your member provincial parliament, for joining me this afternoon to talk to the last week's issues and to hear your concerns and comments. Those of you who are just joining, you're joining me, Faisal Hassan NDP, my YouTube and also Instagram and Twitter and also a Facebook page. Welcome and thank you for joining me again. Before I start, I would like to recognize at this time the land that we now know as York Southwestern is a traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuits, and Métis. Welcome and welcome this morning, and those of you who just already joining us, welcome quickly. And I want to also before I begin to take your questions and comments, I would like first to say that our Jewish brothers and sisters, a happy Passover. Passover began Saturday and ends this Sunday. And also this Sunday starts a Sunday Easter, and also a Monday Easter. Happy also Easter to our members of our community who are Christians and also celebrating Easter. To you, thank you. This week also was opened, I think, was a community, I think a new small businesses opened in the Keel and Rogers, and I was happy to join the owners, the staff, and also the consumers who were there. And that is called Humble Food Market. If you live in the neighborhood, check it out. It has so much goods of different backgrounds, and really it's the kinds of those stores we would like to also support. Shop locally, it's very important. And also I had an opportunity also to visit a Donaland, also another Turkish restaurant opened in our community, right at the Jane and Lawrence. And that's also something I would like for you to check it out quickly. Welcome, Frank. Welcome, Katra. Welcome, Frank. And welcome those of you who are joining live at the moment. And Frank says, Faisal, great to see you this Saturday. Happy Easter to you and everyone here in the chat. Happy Easter to you, and happy Passover, and happy Easter as our brothers and sisters are celebrating these starting Sunday and Monday. And thank you, Frank. And hopefully also it's another also concerned brothers and sisters. Yesterday I had an opportunity to visit one of our members of our community, a single father with two kids living in Villa Gaspar Corte Real Income, and that is on the Gabion Way and Eglinton there. He has lived there for 7 years. He is a member of our community, and you know, folks, COVID has been very difficult and challenging situations. A lot of members of our community have lost jobs, and he had a challenge, but he have come up the entire years and has provided. I've seen the money order last Monday. The manager of the Villa Gaspar Cota Real Income have asked him to come down and pay the arrears. When he went there last Monday, no one was able to take from him the money order he has provided of all of the arrears, and that was something, you know, the tenant did. Unfortunately, they haven't taken. But yesterday they locked him out from his unit, and he was ready to pay, and he was ready even before a week to do that. And yesterday I want to thank the community who have come there to make sure that, you know, that no one is evicted in COVID, in the middle of a lockdown. And I know things has been intense. I know the police showed up with 23 cruisers, and there was a lot of police officers. And I think at the end, the police officers and the community members came to an understanding that member of our community who is a father, a single father, who is also raising two, young infants that are a member of our community, sending him out of the streets is not a good idea at all. And this morning also I visited him in his unit, and he was stressed, but also I have left a message to the landlord, and I would like to work with them to make sure that member of our community remains in his unit and he has the money ready to go. And I would like to also to engage with them. And the good news is he is now at his unit, but he has been asked to stay until Tuesday, and he's ready to pay that, the remaining arrears. And that is, I think, it's the right thing to do, the landlord, to accept the remaining money. He has it, and I think that would be a good idea. And everybody in our community, his neighbors and members of the Toronto community, and also a lot of members of our community in the GTA, is also concerned. No one should be evicted in the middle of a COVID and the middle of a lockdown. And I think that is also the right thing to do. That the Minister of Housing and Municipal Affairs should also ban altogether any evictions at this stage in the COVID. And we know that during the COVID, since November, 770 members of our community were sent to the tenant and landlord board. And it's a crisis, and we need to end to this. And I will be, as your member of provincial parliament, I'll be fighting to make sure that no one, members of our community, is evicted in the middle of the COVID. And I thank everyone who have joined yesterday, and I also thank at the end that the police and the community have come to consensus to do the right thing. But it was also overwhelming force for 23 cruisers to show up in just a situation also in the middle of a COVID. No crime has been committed, and also the tenant has been a law-abiding citizen since he has been living. He's born here for 40 years. He's lived, and he hasn't committed one single crime in his entire life. And I think it's the right thing to do, the landlord, to take the money and allow him to stay in his unit to raise his children. These are young infant kids, and hopefully we'll be also engaging with the landlord to talk to them. And I think this community, Villa, Gaspar, Cotter, Rill, has been a good community, and many of the tenants and many of the management there have worked collaboratively in the past, and we hope this continues. And thank you for those who have joined yesterday. And thank you for that. And also, folks, those who are joining Instagram, and those who are joining also YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, welcome, folks. Welcome. And it's also another Saturday. I know it's a long weekend. It is also in the middle of also another lockdown. And quickly, Frank says, the fact that 23 cruisers showed up to enforce an eviction order is outrageous. What a waste of taxpayers' dollars. And I think that is a concern. I think, and hopefully the good news is at the end, everything went well. No one was hurt. No one was arrested, and everybody was happy. And member of our community was allowed to stay in his unit until Tuesday, and we want that to continue to be permanent. And we want also every single member of our community to pressure the landlord to make sure that the landlord works with the tenant, because he is a single father who have lived in that unit for 7 years. And if you look at in his record, he has never been in arrears in the past. Only it started in September when challenges with COVID has happened, and he was also spoken to them. He has spoken to them, and they have agreed to him to actually pay the remaining amount slowly and gradually. They had that word, that agreement, and then they took him to the tenant and landlord board, and he put together, and he come up all without no support from the government, without no help with anybody, and he has actually come up the remaining amount. And he last Monday he went to them, and they said that, especially the manager said that they're going to take it. And hopefully I had also conversation. I had a conversation with the manager yesterday when I visited a member of our community at 33 Gabion Way, and but the conversations we had was really not. I didn't call from my phone, but it was called from another phone from the superintendent, who was really had a really a good heart and caring. And I want here this afternoon to thank him, his leadership in that regard yesterday, as he has collaborated with me and allowed to connect to the manager, but the manager phone has disconnected. What happened? And hopefully I have also left this morning another message, and I'm going to do that and engage with them, and I'm looking forward to also visit them on Tuesday, and I'll be able to report back next Saturday an update on that. Well, thank you. Those of you who are joining, you're joining Faisal Hassan, NDP. You're joining also Facebook, Faisal Hassan NDP page, and also Instagram, and also YouTube, and also Twitter. Thank you. This week also the government instituted a provincial-wide lockdown for 28 days starting this Saturday. We here in Toronto, we have been locked down, and basically this also creates another 28 days starting this Saturday, and we are now again another lockdown. It is precisely the sort of extreme measures that the Ontario Science Table and the Ontario Health Association were urging the government to avoid. For several weeks, health experts were expressing concerns as the variants of concern continue to spread and look over as the predominant strains of COVID-19. In the face of these concerns, the Premier chose to loosen restrictions and ignored calls for additional community support. And that was this failure rests at his feet. And just last week, the province had an opportunity to address some of these issues as they presented their budget in the legislature. There was a lack of investment in communities like York Southwestern, failing to provide support for struggling tenants and small businesses in the community. We also saw drastic cuts proposed for education in the Ministry of the pandemic. There were no any investment in childcare for young people, and also basic days were also an option on the table, because my colleague from London West has put a bill that I was proud to support, and I did support it. And it simply stated, if you are sick, stay home. And that would have been something, a universally accepted tool that would have effectively at limiting our community spread to support members of the community to stay home if they are sick. And our community, as you know, we have so many frontline workers and so forth. So we need to make sure that the community are supported. But in this budget, it doesn't have that to support on the basic days. Instead, the government chose to look the other way in an effort to save money. To this day, large part of our community continue to wait for accessible vaccines in our community, an issue that I had an opportunity to question the government last week. And I just want to say welcome, folks. Welcome, Ayan. Thank you, says Frank. It's great to connect with you as well. Well, welcome. I just missed some comments here. I'll just read that. Guled, welcome. Brandon, welcome. And welcome others who have joined. Mohammed, welcome. And also Frank says, humble food market located at 605 Rogers Road behind the condo building south of the corner. That's exactly Rogers and Kiel. I was happy and honored to actually visit at the grand opening, and that was something needed in the community. We need many grocery stores, especially fresh food and also vegetables, and affordable also grocery stores. And that's something welcomed many of you as well. Frank says the way he was tweeted was disgusting. This is a product of the Ontario Sheriff's Office, long-time landlord and tenant board changes last year by Darkford. He was just referring to the issue we talked about on the eviction, that the landlord was trying to evict a member of our community. The fact that now welcome folks and welcome and our priority as a province should be centered on making the investments necessary to limit the loss of life, increase access to vaccines, and give people the help and hope they need to stay safe and reach the end of the pandemic. And these actions of this government are continuing to prolong the pandemic and putting hotspots and high-risk communities like ours at risk. We deserve better. Our frontline healthcare workers deserve better, and I will continue to demand a change, of course, to make sure that we have more permanent facility for vaccines. To this day, we have none, and that's unfortunate at the moment. Welcome folks who are joining me Instagram, welcome those who are joining YouTube and also Twitter simultaneously to hear your concerns. And I join you every Saturday to talk to you and to bring your coffee and tea and any other beverages that you like. And we can talk about the concerns you have. And here also, Frank says, I heard that Teleperform is now monitoring HF agent webcams. Is that true? Well, I don't know, Frank, about that. This is not something I'm aware. So, folks, again, this vaccines issues is a big issue in our community, and I've been raising this issue, and this is the same story that also COVID testing. It took 7 months for us to have a permanent facility for COVID testing, and it's the same now. Until up to now, we don't have a vaccine, permanent vaccine facility here in York Southwestern. And we would like to work with Humber River Hospital to reach as much seniors to get their vaccinations. And the City of Toronto will open vaccine appointments to everyone 60 and over at mass vaccination sites. They said starting Friday. But many of you also have contacted me when you called. It's not working, and no appointments, and that's not also well organized. And I think if the city and the mayor is trying to put things like that, we want it to make sure that it's working. And announcing also having a pharmacy desert, as the Toronto Star reported, vaccine pilot program. Well, they said it's going to expand to include individuals 55 years of age, and that's also something is welcome. But we only have 8 pharmacies, and that's not working for our community. We need to make sure that also the numbers they've been calling folks, it's not, no one is answering, and no one can make appointments for folks. Could you please fix that so that the community and the members of the community, when they're asked to call, so that they can book their appointments, so someone is on the other line can answer and make it an appointment for them. That way, we can encourage people to call. But if it's not working, it makes no sense at all. Please fix that. Thank you. And another thing also, folks, is that quickly, I'll just take a couple of comments. Brandon says, since the restaurants, bars and hair salons, nail salons, tattoo parlors and gyms are closed now, why are the malls not part of this shutdown? Do you think that the Premier Doc dark Ford should close the shopping malls? Yes or no? Well, that is a tough question, Brandon. Thank you for asking. As we have seen, Brandon, again and again, this government lets us down because they could have done better. We had opportunity to fix this on phase one. They allowed to go into phase two. Now we are phase three, and with serious variants. And also, as you know, earlier on, the government have allowed the big box stores to actually, have ability to be open, and we've seen it. Some of them, the chaos has went on, issues of social distancing, but now the small businesses are also allowed to open with non-essentials, and that's a welcome to make sure that also the small businesses are also able to, they are also better, Brandon, to practice social distancing. But also we know salons and hair salons have been struggling. They're supposed to be having a reopening on April 12th, and now because of the new lockdown, they're not able to do that. If that's the case, then we need to be compensated to support those small businesses so they could stay operational, so they can also continue to be supported and help the community. And that, I think that would be the approach to go, Brandon, so that the government and the Ford Conservatives should be supporting those small businesses, specifically that have been left out in their small businesses plan, including the taxi drivers. And unfortunately, they haven't expanded the eligibility in this new budget. And we need to include those small businesses that have been left behind, so that they can also continue to also operate and have an opportunity to come back when all this is over. Welcome, Tanya, and welcome, folks. Frank says, thank you for responding. I used to work for them from 2007 to 2009 at 365. Okay, that's something. Okay, Frank says now, I share in frustration that my fellow neighbors filled in booking vaccine appointments. I got lucky in registering for vaccine at Sunnybrook. My family had issues booking at Sunnybrook Thursday morning, but finally managed to get theirs. Also called and checked for appointment cancellation. You might be able to get your vaccine sooner. Well, that's a good news. Frank has his appointment. That's awesome, and thank you. And I think that's the challenge. These phone numbers is not going through. What we need is multiple phone, capacity where one line is busy, there have to be other lines. You need to have several lines, phones that can be answered. I think it's kind of a call center where people can call and they can be booked easily. That way, I think it will be efficient, it will be fast, it will be easy to book and move things quickly. And I think that's what we need to do, make it better. Also, folks, the Minister of Education recently announced the extension of its support for families program. However, some in our community continue to wait for payments from the initial request last summer. And if you are one of those families that have been let down by this program or this government, please contact my office with confirmation details and any corresponding pertaining to the program. We have concerns that the issue may be broader than the originally thought, and are hoping to gain a greater sense of the number of individuals impacted in this case. If you have applied and you haven't gotten any support, I would like to hear from you, and please provide me those details so that I can go after and find out what's going from there. Welcome, Mahmoud Muhyiddin and Lucky Down, City of Toronto again. Doesn't help businesses? Why more phobia for Corona? COVID-19 comes back. Well, I hear you, and I think we need a better system to make sure that that everybody, people could have access quickly, and that they have that when they call, then their number, someone is there to answer for them. and then so that they can easily book for an appointment. Well, welcome, folks, and those who are joining. And just give me a minute. I would just, oh yes, just give me a minute. Quickly, I just want to invite more of you to join, and also share your comments quickly. And also, yes, Frank, quickly, I'll take a couple of comments from you guys and those who are joining also Instagram. Thank you. And folks who are joining, Frank says, Faisal Hassan NDP, they already have that. The Ontario government outsourced the contracts to Toronto-based call centers at a minimum wage. Well, then, they fix it then. If that is the case, Frank, what we need to do is when someone, member of our community, calls and no one is answering them, then they contact us. And this is not working for anyone. So please fix it so that people could just book their appointment so that they can get their vaccines. People are anxious to get it right away. So folks, it's very important. Also, folks, this government refused to set things right with personal support workers, PSWs, and voted down last week a bill proposed by my colleague from Sudbury, Jamie West, to raise the wage floor for all BSWs on this week. By raising their wage floor, BSWs could have had their work recognized with better pay to help them pay the bills. The Bill Support Workers Pay Act would have permanently raised the BSW's wage floor to the temporary BSW pandemic pay rates and require that they are paid per kilometer traveled between work sites. I will continue to advocate for a level of pay that honors the vital and difficult of being personal support workers in Ontario. And we know in our own community of York Southwestern, we have large members of PSWs who are doing a fantastic job and looking after our seniors. But they are working in difficult circumstances. Majority of them don't have paid sick days, and majority of the workers are estimated or reported to be 60% of them don't have paid sick days. And this government and this budget they put forward doesn't have any of that. And that's unfortunate, folks, again, that the government hasn't done so. And then Frank says again, it's cheap for them to do. Most of those companies ask the client, DAG Ford government, for about $40 to $50 per hour, whereas the cost in-house would have been more expensive per agent. Quality, of course, is worse as you could imagine. And that is what's happening. He's referring to these call centers that are booking for appointments for members of our community. And we need that to be efficient and effective. So if I call, I want someone to answer it. But you can't get through. And we need the city to fix that, folks. It's very important that they do. And then well, thank you. And also there are also plans to vaccinate homebound seniors continue to be developed. And many seniors will be identified through their LIN, and that is a local health integration network. But there may be community members that is missed. There may be community members missed. And if that is the case, in an effort to ensure that no individual slip through the cracks, please reach out to my office with information of vulnerable homebound seniors. Our office is closely engaged with public health and will aim to ensure that every vulnerable member of our community has access to vaccine. And that is very important. And we want them, people to go into their homes and get their vaccines. To do that, I want you to contact my office. My office email is fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca. And you can also reach me at the constituency office phone at 416-243-7984. There, if any homebound senior that no one is contacting, or the LIN is not making sure that they got or someone visits them to get them their vaccines, I'm happy to reach out to public health to make sure no one member of our seniors who are homebound gets their vaccines, and that will make sure that. So please reach out and contact them. And again, my email is fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca. And again, the phone number is 416-243-7984. And thank you, folks, those who are joining live, Faisal Hassan NDP page, and also joining me live, also Instagram, and also Twitter and YouTube. And this is also an opportunity to engage every Saturday, to hear your concerns, and also read your comments and also questions, and also answer them, your questions as well. And thank you for joining this afternoon. And once again, happy Easter to you, and also happy Passover, because Passover also started Saturday and it's going to end this Sunday. Members of our community also, of the Jewish community, also celebrating, and also members of the Christian community in our community are also celebrating Easter. It's starting this Sunday Easter, and also Monday Easter as well. To you, and wish you peace and good health, and also getting together your family members as well. And if you do that, please make sure you practice, washing your hands and making sure you also look after the health of your member of the community. Thank you. Again, also the third wave is upon us, folks. COVID-19 variants are now making up a majority of new cases. This variant are proving to be more contagious, resulting in higher case counts. We are now seeing just as troublesome is the evidence suggesting that individuals who contact the more variant strains are more likely to require a hospital stay and twice as likely to require an ICU bed. Last week, admissions were for people 60 years older or younger. So it's affecting young people and folks over the age of 60. This is to remain members of our community, that despite the government's choice to loosen restrictions, we are still in the grip of a pandemic. There is still high risk of severe disease associated with COVID-19, and we cannot afford to let our guard down now. Since the beginning of the pandemic, I urged our community to follow public health guidelines. Hand washing, mask wearing, social distancing, and keep contacts within your household remain just as important as ever. We have come too far and sacrificed too much to see hospitals overloaded, and frontline healthcare workers stretched thin, as the government makes the choice to ignore the best advice of medical experts. We are quickly approaching the day when surgeries and other critical health services may be postponed to deal with the crisis. This week, I was at Queen's Park, where I urged the government to take action to protect our community. Vaccination is an important step, and I'm urging the government to invest in more resources locally here in York Southwestern to have a permanent facility for vaccinations in our community. We have none at the moment, and that's not right. We need a population like ours, a community like ours. We should have to have a permanent facility to make sure the community have that access. Also, we would like to thank the partnership of Humber River Hospital for working with us to make sure seniors in our community has vaccines. And we have been very successful getting vaccines to senior buildings so far, and we'll continue to do so the coming weeks to make sure we reach our seniors through that way as well. And that's very important that we continue to do. I'm also urging them to provide people with the help they need to keep our neighborhoods safe, such as investing in paid sick days and support for small businesses. It's very important. Welcome, folks, and those who are joining. Thank you. And we can tackle this virus, but we can't. But we need the government to stop burying their head in the sand and recognize the severity of the situation. And we need to make sure we invest. We invest basic days. We invest BSW more wages for them, and also we invest money in our schools so that we could have rapid testing for schools. We can also put priority our teachers. They don't have to wait June or July to get their shots. We can get them now and make sure that they're also protected while they are teaching our young people as well. Well, those joining Instagram, welcome, folks. Welcome. And also, folks, climate change is also a big issue in our community. We know when it rains, it hits hard in our community. And I'm happy to report that last week, the Supreme Court of Canada struck down the Ford government's attack on efforts to combat climate change here in Ontario. The government's unfortunate choice to spend millions of taxpayers' dollars and waste countless hours on this legal battle has fallen flat and shown just how out of touch their response has been. Our community is eager for a real plan to tackle climate change and foster a green new economy that provides job opportunities, hope, and climate justice. And as you know, there is a plan. And my leader, Andrea Horvath, have launched the Green New Democratic Deal. And if you haven't read it, please, I urge you to read. You can go to OntarioNDP.ca and there, or you can just Google the Green New Democratic Deal, Ontario NDP. And there you will have our plan for social justice, for the environment, for the economy, and help and hope for communities. And that is where we need to invest and to protect our environment and make sure that the communities like ours have investments. And also, when it floods, we need also help, protection, investments, also infrastructure, and also immediate relief for those families affected as well. So that's also an important. Welcome, Adam. Adam, I hope you're doing, brother. You're doing well. Happy Easter to you, and to also Nancy, to also everyone, of course, of members of our community that will be celebrating Easter, and also thank you. Adam says, thank you, Honorable MPP Faisal Hassan. Well, thank you, Adam. Hope you're doing well, and the entire family also is doing well. Keep stay safe, and we'll be in touch, of course. Thank you for joining also this afternoon. Bring your coffee, Adam, and let's talk. Well, we see also this budget has an education cuts, and I'm hearing more and more concerns from parents about what the coming weeks will mean for schools. The recent budget has indicated that cuts are on the way, and there are reports that government is hoping to make online learning a permanent part of our education system. We are also seeing more and more schools close their doors as a result of local outbreaks and suggestions that the April break may be extended. Instead of cuts, we should be investing in school safety. We will be advocating and insisting that the schools are not sacrificed in the name of saving a few dollars, penny pinching. And we have seen that these government have been doing that since they have been elected. Our schools and our students are too important not to make these critical investments. We need to do that because it's the future of our children. And also we need to hire more teachers, more education workers to make sure that our school needs the support they need. And it's very important that we do, folks. Well, thank you. Thanks. And Adam is also says he's fasting today. Well, that is Stay healthy and stay safe, and happy Easter to you, Adam. I know we love your music. Those of you who might not know Adam Solomon, Adam Solomon is award-winning Juno artist who lives in our community. He has actually joined us live last year to celebrate Canada Day together. And he has actually done fantastic show of really showing us his talent free of charge. And he is, a man who really gives back to the community. He teaches our young people with no investments from the government. And I think it will be a fantastic idea to bring people like Adam Solomon to teach our kids in music in schools in our community, because they can learn a lot of his talent and his creativity. And we thank you, Adam Solomon, for your contribution to York Southwest. And Adam says, one problem with the Conservative government, they don't invest in schools or healthcare for our people. That's so true. And they don't invest also in long-term care. And if they do, they are for profit maximization. These companies that are making money on the backs of our seniors. And NDP government will remove that. There's no money to make on the backs of our seniors. We'll invest healthcare. We'll invest long-term care and home care and implement immediately 4 hours of care so that we can put money, more service, more care for our seniors. We'll also invest in education because education is important to all of us. It's very important that we also invest in the economy and invest jobs and opportunities. And Adam also, last year, I think it was 2019, I put a motion to the floor of the legislature, and that was work integrated learning. And it was all party support. It got the support of all parties at the legislature. And to this day, the government hasn't implemented it, put resources to hire young people, create opportunities for internships, placements, and co-ops. And it's needed now. Our young people, summer is coming, and there's nothing to look forward to it. And no jobs for them, no investments in that regard in this budget as well. And we have asked to create 27,000 positions. Also, there's a lot of folks on the construction retiring. It's reported close to over 300,000 folks who are working on the construction are retiring. There's also an opportunity to those who are unemployed, those who are not in school, be also provided that investment of skilled trades. It is time to do that. I know that the community benefit agreement and the community benefit is doing a very good job. There are many organizations in our community, such as the Westpac Healthcare Center has signed community benefit, so that the members of our community can benefit to get, when the project is done, there's some skills and also hiring members of our community. And that's why I think it's very important by providing that kind of investment for young people and those who are unemployed will mean a lot in the need for investing also construction workers, because they could actually gain into access to skilled trades. We need to provide and work with the unions to make sure that there are investments to put people to work. And I think it's very important. Welcome Zachariah, and also welcome Goulet, and welcome all of you. And Zach says, we have to work together with the NDP. Hi, Zach says, well, thank you. We want to work together definitely to make sure that the next election we have an NDP government. We have seen the Liberals, they had 15 years to make things better in these communities. We know every file you touch, it's a mess. They let us down for 15 years under Dalton McGuinty, under Captain Wynne, and now we have a Dark Ford. We had an opportunity to make it right, but still he has that opportunity to make it right and work with us. As you folks know, since the legislature has returned this session, we have proposed many bills and motions to make sure that we proposition to the government to put people first. And we'll continue to do that because our community deserves better. And they deserve also a better government that makes sure that you are the boss, that you are being listened to. We want to listen to you and carry on, your business to make sure that we address the crisis that we have. We have crisis in childcare. People in our community cannot afford in childcare. And in this budget, there is nothing to support in childcare. We know that many members of our community are paying high premiums of auto insurance. And we are being targeted because of our postal code. And that, to me, is discrimination. And we need to end that. To do that, well, this government has done nothing. We know that many of you are not driving. The cars are packed in the garage, and we're still paying high premiums of auto insurance. We want relief. We've asked to provide at least 50% back for folks, for drivers. We haven't gotten any, and that's not right. And so who is protecting? We know also the accidents. Also, it has been reported to go down, I believe, more than 50%. And that's also because no one is driving, because people are at home because of the COVID. And we're still paying higher premium rates, and every year it's going up. It's not going down. This is not right, folks. We need to fix that. And this government has nothing to support decent, hardworking members of our community in that regard. I'll just take some comments from members, those who are joining live from Facebook page, Twitter, YouTube, and also Instagram. Quickly, so here's Brandon. Brandon says, since COVID-19 cases are at 3,009 cases today, do you think that the Premier Ford should put the province of the Ontario back into the stay-at-home orders? Well, we are already, he has already asked us a lockdown on 28 days already. But Brandon, today, I think if you would have listened to the official opposition in March last year, in April, if you would have listened to the experts and scientists in June, in July of last year, we could have avoided second wave. We could have avoided now on the third wave. And that's where the problem lies, Brandon, And Adam says, I'm just going to go through quickly to read that. Adam says that Dark Ford has done a big damage to our people in Ontario. Many people who have been sick is because of him. If we would listen to the Ontario health officers, we would not be at this point of panic. I'm available to our youth, even elders, who want to learn guitar or music. We need investment from the government to businesses, to schools, to expand classes, to have larger space and more teachers, fewer students in the class so that teachers won't be infected. And also students, they can be less in class. Thank you, Honorable MPP, for fighting for us and talking about the issues that concern us in our community. Well, thank you, Adam Solomon, for raising your voice and adding to the comments. Yes, we've asked to invest in education. We've asked to invest in also paid sick days for workers. This government hasn't been supporting. Welcome, Tanya, and also thank you for your comment, Adam. Adam says Premier Ford would have closed this province for 6 months straight. We wouldn't be in this problem. And there you have, folks. And he hasn't been listening to ordinary people. He hasn't been listening to the experts. And folks, there you have it. And we have been propositioning to this government, and we have been very positive. And of course, we have to hold this government accountable, because it's our responsibility to do so as the Her Majesty loyal opposition, and we'll continue to do that. But also, we have responsibility to make sure that the concerns and the issues of the community are addressed. We'll continue to raise those, and we'll make sure we'll keep raising them until we have an NDP government in the next election. Brandon says, welcome Ayan. Brandon says, with today's eviction at 33 Gabion Way, why did Toronto City Councillor Francis Nunziata not stop this eviction? Well, that's a very good question. I think I cannot speak for Francis. She's a city councillor. You can contact her directly and pose that question. But definitely, I will tell you exactly what I have done. Brandon, I was with the family yesterday when the community came in large numbers. I was there. I have spoken to the folks. I have spoken to the superintendent there, and he was being very helpful. He was very collaborative and cooperation, and he had connected me to the manager, but the manager wasn't very helpful at all, and I intend to reach her again. I left her a message this morning, and also after I left, I was told there were 23 cruisers who showed up there. There were no crime happening there, and that also, I'll give you also a background, an update. Also, the tenant has last Monday went to the management, and he has communicated previously as well that he will be providing the money, and they said bring it. When he went to Monday, they didn't collect it, the check, actually the money order. And in also September, because of the COVID, he had challenges, and many of us have challenges with COVID. A lot of members of the community have lost their jobs because of COVID situations. Things are very difficult. But he has been living there for 7 years. He has paid his rent continuously. He never had an issues in the past. And now he has the full amount ready and ready to pay. I have saw it, the money order myself. But I think the police who came there with their 23 cruisers and the community also have really come together in a good terms yesterday. No one has injured there, and nothing has happened, and nobody committed any crime there. So that was very helpful that that until Tuesday we have an opportunity, the landlord, to get their money. And I want to also call them tomorrow, and I want to call them again on Monday and visit them on Tuesday to make sure that also they take the money and allow a member of our community to continue to be a member of our community and to stay his unit, which he wants to. And another thing, Brandon, he's also a single parent, a single father who is raising infant children. And in the middle of a pandemic, in a lockdown, we cannot do this. We cannot just get rid of people simply because you don't like them. Because when I had a conversation, the manager told me, it's not about money, she said. And I'll say it again here. She said, it's not about money. And I said, what is it then if you don't want your rent? So that is wrong. And if she is just against him because of who he is, and that's discriminatory, it's wrong. And I think that's unacceptable too, Brandon. And I intend to reach out and speak to her and actually, make sure that there's a fairness here. That he has been also in September, he told me, he engaged with them. They agreed that he will pay, even though they were aware he had challenges. They had words together, kind of a gentleman's word. But then they sent him to the tribunal. He was not alone. There are about 770 members of our community who have been sent to the tenant and landlord board. Many of them are decent, hardworking, who have been here and want to remain in their community. So we want to ban evictions, especially in the middle of a pandemic. We want the Minister Clark, and the Premier Ford to intervene and ban evictions until we come back, or altogether. We don't need even to evict anyone in the middle of a pandemic when we call a lockdown. And the lockdown is effective, and we have been in a lockdown for quite some time. So hopefully there is hope, Brandon, that we might be able, to convince the landlord to accept their arrears, and he will be able to pay his rent, and there won't be a problem. And if there's a problem in the future, the entire community will be able to make sure to help, to make sure that people get also a help with support, with rent, to make sure that those members of our community who are struggling with kids, we're supposed to be helping members of our community. And I think I urge this government to provide tenants a stimulus support to help them get through the pandemic. And we have asked that earlier, 80% to support it, and we'll continue to do so, Brandon. And definitely we'll make sure also that I also, as I left a message this morning, I'll also do that tomorrow, Sunday, and also on Monday as well, and visit myself in the morning of Tuesday to make sure that he remains his unit. Folks, well, thank you. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I will join you again next Saturday from 3 to 4. And if you were joining Faisal Hassan. You're a member of Provincial Parliament for York South-Western. I have said that because of the challenges of COVID, that I will join you live every Saturday to be transparent, to be accountable to you, to hear your concerns of the issues of the week, and to talk to you also your concerns, to hear your concerns, and also your questions. You can bring your coffee, your tea, or any beverage you like, and we can talk. I know I have only 3 minutes left. I will be happy to also just to make sure that I just read if there's any comments I have missed. Welcome for joining, and very good. So hopefully then we'll be able to continue engaged. And also, if you don't have my office email, is fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca. And also my constituency phone number is 416-243-7984. And hopefully, if you cannot wait on Saturday to ask me any questions or to share your concerns, you can always call us at the constituency office at 416-243-7984, or you can write me at fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca. Well, thank you. Yes. Well, Adam says, thank you, Honorable Faisal Hassan. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. And happy Passover and happy Easter to each and every one of you who are celebrating. Thank you. And also Frank says, thank you for updating us on the issues. You're a great improvement to our riding in getting us the help we need. Well, thank you for your contributions as well. And also Brandon says, have a happy Easter, MPP Faisal Hassan. Thank you, Brandon. Have a happy and pleasant Easter to you and to your family. To Peter and to Maria and to Adam and to you, Brandon. Happy Easter. And also here says Nancy, hello Nancy, and thank you, and happy Easter as well to you. And thank you, members of the community, for joining me again this Saturday. And those who have not commented, also thank you. Those who have just you're joining Faisal Hassan NDP page and Instagram, and also YouTube, and also Twitter to follow me there. And if you have any comments And also, if you want to join, also to get our newsletter, you can actually go to my website, Faisal Hassan, NDP. Rather, faisalhassan.ca. Yes, there you can actually go newsletter and you can subscribe if you want instantly to receive our newsletter to give you an update. So you can't wait on Saturday, you can get an update on Monday, and you can get also an update on Thursday about what's happening and what is happening at Queen's Park and what's also new in our community. Brandon says, thank you, Faisal Hassan. Well, thank you to you, each and every one of you who have joined this afternoon. My time is up now. I'll say thank you, those of you who have joined this afternoon. It has been a pleasure to hear your comments and also answer some of your questions. And until then, I will be joining you again next Saturday, the same time, from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. I look forward to hearing your concerns. Until then, friends and neighbors, thank you and goodbye.